Hello everybody and welcome to what I hope is a very enjoyable episode. Now with this episode guys, I must confess first and foremostly to a mistake that I myself has made. Now originally this video was uploaded to YouTube earlier today and it went off without a hitch. At least I thought so. Now the video wasn't uploaded today itself, it went live I mean to say. In other words, the video went onto YouTube with a bulk load of other videos. Got its name, its official name, meaning I chose what the name would be, and it also got a few other things, including the screen, the titles, and all those things. Anyway, at some point through the process of being put on YouTube, it went from having full functional audio to being without audio. So I've had to go and get the video and pull it down. Now I've pulled the video down because I don't know where the audio has gone and I can't find the audio. In matter of fact, to be quite clearly blunt, that audio is gone. So I really have no answer to where it's gone. I've gone back to the original save, but the problem is once the video was uploaded, I had no reason to keep it. YouTube itself kind of acts like an archive for me, so unfortunately I'm doing a voiceover and I've got some music in thankfully, so don't worry, it's not going to be, you know, too boring. It's just unfortunately going to be me talking instead. So with that said, today we're doing what's called business as usual in a very expensive and lavish apartment. Now I personally enjoyed this playthrough. I think it's a great apartment, but I can see things I'd want to do differently with it. But with that said, let's get into it. So, first and foremost, as you can see, I've been going around cleaning the place. That's pretty standard for me. I'll be going around making sure things are in shape and tow, all perfectly fine. And from that point, I will then kind of get an idea for what we'll be working on, and right now I'm just doing exactly that. I'm getting tiles on the floor and the wall, and then yawning, and then with that done, it's a case of just envisioning this room. Now my luck has it I yawn as I immediately start doing a voiceover, which is never a good sign, but I apologize on that regard. So when it came to doing this room anyway, I was going to tile the whole room. However, I wasn't too sure if tiling the whole room would work with regard to the fact it also wants, you know, other things. Personally, it's okay, but again, it is personal preference. You know, did I want to do a mix of tiles? Yeah, I think hindsight says do mixes of tiles, but we work with what we've got. And in this case, I worked with what I got, and annoyingly, I had to buy a pack of tiles just to get one tile. Now, fortunately, it's not like real life where you can go into the shop and they might sell you one tile, because you don't need the whole pack, or they might buy back a smaller rate, but again, it's fine. I then got the tiles I was going to do halves with and kind of slapped myself silly, because I was going to replace that entire wall I just bought those tiles for, and oh did I feel stupid. But you know what, I should have thought about it, but I didn't. And another dumb thing I did, as you can see, I didn't turn up the rate of how many tiles I'm placing down, so I'm placing a 3 at a time, so I can just double the amount of time I needed to, which is funny. So yeah, with the funny antics aside though, really we're now doing the bathroom just in a style needed, and I had to put one tile on, which was it made me laugh, because he wanted a half room, but it went one over on the half part, and then we had to install the sinks, and I wanted to try and see if they'd actually fit, and they would, so it was a case of just then putting them on and putting the bolts and the washers on, as they're called, so that they fit. Having put these washers on though guys, it's pretty straightforward now, and well, realistically it's just a case of tedious repetition, and Well, ultimately, it's not too difficult. With this bathroom, it's simple. Install some new sinks, and that's it. And then we have this bedroom. Now, in this room, there is still a lot of a mess, and it's working out what stays, what goes. And, well, really, the thing about men, let's be blunt honest, is it's working out what they want. And men aren't that stylish most of the times when it comes to like designing apartments. So I feel like this one is more a case of he wants one thing and that's it. And well, it's simple enough. So we managed to do that entire room within the first 5 minutes, and I was kind of like on a roll at this point. So we went back into the hallway and I'm like, okay, new couch for the end of the hallway. And I just wanted to put it where the old one was, making my life a little easier. And then I realised we had some lovely paintings to put up, and I decided just to do them on each side of this clock. I kind of wish I'd somewhat scaled them a bit down maybe, but yeah, it happens. And as we go into this other room, we've got more clothes on the floor and some drinks. Clearly a Playboy at heart is what we're working with here. Thankfully no bugs in this house though, nice and clean, so I was kind of happy about that. Most of the time it's just the clothing on the floor in this rich place, which again, reassuring. But, you know, I'm not too worrying about this. So we go back into the bathroom here, we're just checking for anything that needs selling, and that's the thing. I get rid of all the mess and sell stuff before I start building. I then intentionally close the door so that I focus on the room, and we get the tiles. Now the tiles matter in these rooms, and I always like to have the tile of the room that it goes into behind the door. That's just a habit of deciding which rooms tiles take predominantly. And having done that, I then went into the bathroom and checked on what tiles on the floor it was going to have, because even I agree that these tiles in here, they just don't suit the room. It seems a bit, you know, unusual, so we went with these nicer kind of block style ones, and they do the job pretty decently. And obviously I'm checking if this room has any tiles for this floor, and it doesn't, it just has these wardrobes. So I was a bit happy with this, it makes my life easier, so I just put both wardrobes down, and that's literally simple, you know, 2 wardrobes in a room, solved. And again, men are just pretty straightforward when it comes to designing rooms. Obviously, for some reason he wants a pink bed, God knows why. Maybe it's to please a missus of some sort, but I don't mind. He's the client, I'm the builder. I don't care to what his, you know, reasonings are. Sometimes I might question the logic behind it, but in this case I don't really give one. It is his house, it is a nice house, I'll give it that, but it's just a house, or an apartment I should say. I know someone's going to correct me in the comments now. It's an apartment, correct. One of the things though is with these couches, it's choosing where they go, and I kind of chose it goes against the window looking down on this, what I must say, really nice skyline down onto a simple city. I like it a bit. It could do it a bit more to the city, but it doesn't matter. And then we've got this nice mirror here, and I was really happy at it going here. It's just getting it to go in place, and once I did, I wanted to make it in the middle, but that's not easy, and I can tell already it's going to be difficult putting these paintings up. Even in the recording, I remember having said I'm going to have to move stuff forward for these to work, and it's irritating. So yeah, not a fun experience this. We're trying to get paintings on the wall. Sometimes I'll move stuff around. In this case I moved the bed forward and then put the painting on the wall and try and get it in that way. But again, it's not easy. You've got all these paintings, he wants all these things, and really I decided to put them next to each other on this wall. I don't even know I'd call them art, but you know, and then I kind of realised this was a rug. So yeah, funny me. I was struggling to put a rug. It's pretty funny. And then we get this rather small painting, and this was kind of like a blessing in disguise. And obviously these lovely plants, they're so simple, there's nothing complex to it, and I wasn't happy with the size of that painting. But again, it's on the wall now. Going into the bathroom now, it's a bit of fun here. So we got the same as the last bathroom, just a slight different in the tiles, obviously. But we got the same vibe is what I want to get at. He wants the same type of tile layout. He wants half-half kind of thing, and it's pretty cool. So we got the nice dark, let's call it deep slate kind of style. That's what it comes across as, the color at least. So it's pretty nice. And then we got the lighter tiles that we have also on the floor in the other room and this room. And obviously these tiles are just a nice, well, I should say niche thing to have. Realistically, I did debate on do I tile the entire room, considering it's asking not for much. And that is a great question to always have in mind. But in this case, I decided, yeah, we'll tile the room entirely. Although you could argue I did miss a spot at the window, of course, but I'm not too worried. I might fix stuff like that now and then, but if it's met the criteria, the client is usually happy. There's no complaint system in the game for them to go, oh, I didn't get, X, Y, and Z. And sometimes I add stuff in, like these lights, I added an extra few in. But I never worried with lining up lights or anything like that. There's no gridding system that I can go off with lights, sadly, or any aligning systems, which is a bit annoying at times. It's a bit of a shame, so I feel like it's a missed out opportunity by the devs, but never know, they might get it in the new version. But again, we're fine. We've just got to get the downstairs done now, and this is going to be the interesting part to pull off, because there is an awful lot of stuff downstairs that has to be done. And it's not an easy feat. They've clearly, like usual, had a real fun party, and now the regret comes in, where they're like, why did I make a mess here? And they hire someone to come in, because when you're confronted like a mess like this, even if you're not rich, you feel more inclined for someone else to do it, because you just feel overwhelmed. And you don't want to have like what people like to call buyer's remorse, or planning remorse in this case, because you did an event that's that insane. I mean, look how many times I'm having to click. I have a quick clicker on my mouse, thankfully, so I'm just using that. But yeah, and then we got to get rid of some of the furniture. Some of it's been smashed, some of it's been damaged, and there is a lot of damage I've seen in this place, and it's working out what stays, what goes. And let's be honest, a lot of stuff is going. The obvious and usual case is I'll clean it up, then go around with my lovely little sell-it gun and get rid of whatever is going. But in this case, there is just a lot to do, and my plan really is just to get rid of all the items I can see in sight, and then get all the stuff sold, and then start mopping up the place. It's not going to be easy, and I am very confident that we're going to run into some complications, possibly. At this point I did change the stairs, by the way, as you could see. That was just me having a mess around with it, and we're just slowly working out what stays, what goes. It's not easy when you're looking for furniture, especially though even though the name might give you an idea to what you're looking for. As you can see, I'm just darting around looking for anything that needs to be removed and kind of just removing it. It's not easy. But then it's also getting your replacements, but yeah, we now get to do the cleaning finally. The stuff that really matters in these cases is the actual condition of the place. And going around with a mop, it is the most tedious thing known to man. If we didn't have the mini-map in the top right, I would dread it more than usual, because it's not easy finding the dirt. But again, we're fine. Now I just have the fun of selling stuff, and we have these lovely lights that he wants to get rid of, which is a shame actually, because we could have took these upstairs and saved him a heck of a lot of money, which would have been great, but can't, I'm afraid. And obviously the person that did these lights, they had a thing for short leads and long leads, so they made my life a little bit more annoying. But you know what? They were trying to go with the high-tech vibe, probably back in the day when they bought the apartment, and now it's no longer a high-tech vibe, it just looks a bit cheap. And yeah, it's because it's more common. But finding this vase, I'm not going to spoil where it is, but there is a moment where I go, and there it is, I go, oh, the vase that I already looked at a minute ago, because you'll see I did actually hover over it, and it was a bit embarrassing. So, not the best, and you can see here, I want to get the lights right, but it's not easy, because you don't have any referencing system for it. You've just got to go off what you see. And one thing I want to say, these epoxy tables, I love them. Honestly, they are so cool, and it definitely adds to the environment, is the word I'll go with, because you get a feel for something that looks really modern because it's not new, you know. And epoxy tables are just that, they're not new, but they are modern. I mean, epoxy has been a thing that's been around quite a bit now, you know, a good 20 years, probably more. From my experience, I'd say it's been around 20 years. I mean, I've used epoxy before, but not, well, more recently than 20 years ago, but my point being, it is something that reflects a intelligence, right? Because to make an epoxy table, and I'm speaking now from some very limited experience where it didn't go well, the process is not easy. You gotta cure it right, you gotta make sure you're doing it all perfectly, and it ain't easy. I'll be honest, the table I made wasn't, in my view, the easiest thing to do, and it didn't last very long because I didn't kind of master the curing process very well. So it's one of those, with epoxy you learn, and that's what I did, I learned from it, but I've not done much with epoxy since it's not cheap either. So yeah, but as you can see, we're just popping ourselves around, and we're just, you know, cleaning up places, adding to stuff, making sure that everything is getting done, and really touching up on the odd job. And it's pretty tedious at best to go around this place and be adding to it. But with that said, we have to just, you know, get a feel for where he wants his stuff going, and it's pretty, you know, simple in its own way. We just got to plan it. And in this case, you can see what I'm already thinking. I'm putting pictures on both sides, trying to make them look at least lined up, and that way this nice little foyer area, as I'd like to nickname it, has some feel to it. That was just me checking if the lift actually worked. I was really curious again. So it's pretty cool having the lift feature in the game, and I am a big fan of it. I just wish it looked a bit more realistic, you know. It's great. And yeah, now anyway we get to go onto the the room which I've been looking forward to. Now I've managed to cough, and really cough hard then. This is a gaming room. It's a red and grey gaming room, and already I was all down for this. I was actually kind of interested to see where this would go. I'd seen the mood board, I had an idea of what was in mind here, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I did notice a skill point, and I did ignore it at first, obviously, because I wanted to just paint this wall and then worry about skill points. That's usually what I do. Could I save myself time by doing them straight away? Absolutely. Would I do them straight away? No. It's a distraction in itself, and I have a habit of distracting myself. That's why I close doors to other rooms, so I know I don't go in there straight away, even though that doesn't work. And well, I'm easily distracted in these types of games because I want to get everything done, and I try and go in an order, but then I kind of sidetrack and don't keep to that in order. So yeah, not the best of people to ask to stay in a simple order. But again, doesn't matter. We get to now put up some lovely panels, and when it comes to this, I usually buy more than I'll need, and that's just a rule of thumb. But these panels, look at them. They look so good. I love them. They are really cool. You know, I feel a bit jealous that I can't find these in real life. I have looked around. I kind of want some. I know it's wallpaper, not panels necessarily, obviously, guys, but they just have that nice look to them. So if anyone knows where they are, put it in the comments. I've seen them in other countries, but there's none in the UK, so I will specify that. And you just saw me there checking if it had gone through the wall. That's always important when it comes to these builds that can sometimes sadly go through the wall, and then you have to reimburse on, well, property, unfortunately. And yeah, I tried keeping to the red vibe of the room, didn't want to change it too much, and it's pretty important to keep to that style, albeit that it's not easy, and you just want to keep a colour scheme in mind. So yeah, it's pretty nice and simple. With these types of things though, it's an idea, and we're just trying to make sure we fulfill it to the best of our ability. And right now all I'm doing is I'm just buying everything that's, you know, needed, and I'll just put it all in, and that's that. Now I get to choose which computer you get, so I went with the red rotated monitor one because it's, well, red. That's literally the reason why, you know. And with these type of desks, it's pretty straightforward. Now my throat's clear. I do apologize, guys. I have a very congested mouth today, apparently. One minute I'm sneezing, the next minute I've got a throat that's dry. But yeah, these rooms, it's always a bit of an interest to me to how people want them doing. And I feel like I could have done the couch the opposite direction, just towards that TV area that I was going to have. But it didn't matter in the end. If he wanted to change it, he could. And that was my mentality going into this. We got some of these foam pads. Clearly he was all about the sound quality of the room. I don't really use these, and I don't know if I should. I have got a big room that I'm in. It is 10 meters in length and it's 8 meters in width. You know, it's a pretty big room. It runs the length of the house on this opposite side end, so it's pretty big, but you know, I haven't really considered of buying soundproofing, really. It's not something I really do. And what I was finding here is that I had to buy these panels again, and it was getting a little tediously annoying. So I kind of just did them off the point itself, and as you can see, it refused me to place that, and I was a bit confused. So yeah, it's annoying, but we worked it out in the end, eh? As we're going around though, we've got a whole list of things to buy, and it's not easy. We're trying to decorate this entire room with these panels and stuff to go here, stuff to go there, you know. Pretty annoying, but we get it done, and that's the key thing. And when it comes to this carpet, I wasn't a fan, I'll be blunt honest. It isn't my type of thing to put in this. I wouldn't have a red carpet in a room that's got red walls and all that. I think it's just a tad bit too much red at that point. I think he's overdoing it. And I just put that panel behind there, sneaking it away because I can't not put anything there. And then we bought some consoles. Now, I put it on the station over there, and I put the controls on the, you know, on here because really, what do? You know, it's not like I'm trying to, you know, decide where his stuff goes in a way. It's the client who's paying, so it's the client who I want to let choose. So I'll put the stuff in. I did make a joke at this time, and I would say it again because I remembered it, that I would put his mouse and keyboard upside down and hope that he didn't know how to use them. So then he'd learn to use them upside down and then be with people playing with them the wrong way around. And well, I found it really funny thinking about it, like this rich guy who's probably never gamed yet, you know, because of his style setup, who doesn't know that his stuff is the wrong way around, so then he learns upside down on his keyboard and mouse. I absolutely love the idea of that, and I wish that is the case, you know. But when it came to putting these LEDs in, this is what I was on about earlier. We got rid of the LEDs downstairs, only to buy some for upstairs, and I felt that was a waste. If you ask me, it's a bit silly. But the client's the client, what do you do, eh? If they want to buy LEDs, they buy LEDs. If they want to, you know, pay for you to install these LEDs and, well, do a decent job of it, of course, then yeah, that's what we do. But what I was finding here is getting LEDs to run the full length of the room is a bit of a pain, you know. He clearly wants them to go around the room, and it was about working out the measurements, and I do work them out mostly. It's just getting them in place, and in this situation I kind of just said to myself, I'm gonna see what I can do, line them up wherever, and then fill in the gaps with the ones I need to, and that's that. I wasn't gonna, you know, make it too complex on myself, and well, as you can see, it's not too complex after all. And with that done, I did debate making these a bit more lined up, but it's what you do with it, you know. I'm not worrying about it. He specified less than he needed, and so yeah, we just put these in, and here we go. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.